Hey, Nick.
Hey, buddy.
You know how I've been spending the last 10 weeks or so telling you jokes trying to make you laugh?
Always.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say that, no pun intended.
It's all right.
We don't have it yet.
What up, everybody? So glad you're here. We don't have it yet, and we're not Coolio, but Nick and Wyatt will be putting the flow back in your ear this week. Happy to have you here again. Whole bunch of stuff to talk about this week. We watched movies, TV shows, documentaries. Wyatt went to sports games. We predicted the fall of a major business empire. Game Pass might be falling in the near future. And we actually played a game online together. I can't believe it. Wyatt, how are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty well, buddy. It's a little different. We're recording on a weekend. I'm not trying to fit this in between work meetings, and
It
I can
feels
just
good,
settle
doesn't
in.
it? Doesn't it feel good? Yeah, we can relax a little bit. Yeah, it's just a nice casual Sunday afternoon conversation in your new recording studio. I hope that we can make a habit out of this weekend thing.
Yeah, I think we can. As I'm sure people noticed last week and will probably notice this week, I sound like I'm inside a small box, which is essentially what this room is. So, gonna probably spend the next week trying to add some little bit of sound absorbing
Gotta
foam and or
dampen the
blankets.
closet slightly, right?
Let's see what happens if I open the door to the side here, if it sounds any better.
Oh, it might sound more cavernous.
It might, but we don't have it yet, and we're figuring it out.
Hey, I think that actually sounds better. But I wanted to ask you a question. Speaking of recording on a weekend, I might have to run out and do an errand after this. It's come to that stage where I don't necessarily need it, but should I go upgrade my phone this afternoon? And I
What
only ask
is the
this.
reason for?
Well, the reason is just basically annoyance. I have a Pixel 9a. I'm a big fan of the A series because they're just cheaper. But at some point along the way, I dropped it. I don't remember if it was falling out of my pocket, getting out of the car, or what it was, but I dropped it even with a case on, and seemed fine. There's no visible damage to the screen or anything like that, or no major scratches or anything like that. But I noticed when using it, if I'm like using my thumb in the center of the screen and moving it upward to scroll through an article or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
there's this ever so slight crumpling sound, like crumpling up a piece of newspaper or something.
Like the
And
adhesive peels off.
it's exactly what happened. Yep. So apparently the screen, the OLED on my phone is glued down uh, to the PCB. And if parts of that gets kind of ripped apart when impact happens, what I'm hearing is me pressing down and the glue reattaching and then pulling away, and the glue reattaching and then pulling away. So I was looking, Best Buy has an upgrade to the 10 special, and it is very unlikely that anybody would go, hey, let me put my ear down to this and see if it makes a crumpling noise when I run my thumb up it. It appears in perfect trade-in condition, but it would cost me probably about $200 to get it repaired, whether that be at a local place or through Google. Uh, whether I could go to Best Buy and trade this in for the 10 and it would be about the same cost out of pocket. Or I spend nothing and just live with the minor annoyance for the rest of the life of the phone. What do you think I should do?
Well, I mean, young Wyatt, probably this was when I lived out in Colorado, so my early 20s. My one and only iPhone that I
Hmm.
had because I fell for the fad and I'm like, oh man, I'm young and I'm living on my own out in Colorado. I want a cool phone. So it might have been the iPhone 4, 3. It was back in
Early days, early
2011.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and
Yeah,
I,
when having a smartphone was still kind of a status
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah. Uh, I remember I dropped it in my kitchen. I didn't have
Hmm.
a case because I was stupid and or poor, probably both. And I dropped it on the tile in my kitchen.
Oh yeah,
It,
done
it was
that.
fine. No, it was fine.
Okay.
And then maybe like a week later, I dropped it on the carpet in my living room, and the screen just shattered.
Oh yeah, so it was like it was just that carpet drop was kind of the final straw on the camel's back kind of thing.
Yeah. So, as one normally would do, I then proceeded to continue using that same phone for probably the next 2 years. By the time I still have the phone, I wish I could pull it out. I'll see if I can find a picture of it. Maybe if we post a summary this week, I'll show a picture of it. But by the time that I finished using this phone, I was slicing my hand
Oh, you like had
using
like
it.
pieces of glass
Oh
in your
yeah,
thumb as you pulled away. Yeah. I'm
it
trying
was
not to
so
get to that
dumb.
point.
Yeah, so like I said, young Wyatt would probably say just deal with it. But for $200, if it's enough of an annoyance and it's $200 to either fix it or $200 to go ahead and get a new one, I guess I would say probably go ahead and get a new one. But I would also see what the difference is between what you have and what the 10
It's
is.
it's nothing. It's
Uh,
almost nothing. There's
okay.
no camera bump out on the 10. Otherwise, it's like almost exactly the same. But the well, I suppose it's almost exactly the same. Performance-wise, it's almost exactly the same. But the 10 did introduce an in-house TMSC chip versus the Samsung
Mhm.
architecture that Pixels have always used in the past. Um, and that's outside of all the stuff you read about the Tegra chip with the AI and blah, 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 blah,
Mhm.
blah, blah. But yeah, I don't lease it or anything. It's unlocked. I'm just on Mint because I switched from Verizon years ago. Um, it's just an annoyance. It's one of those quality of life things. I know it's a first world problem, but the first thing I generally do when I come down in the morning and I wake up, I'm usually the first one down the stairs in the morning. I turn coffee on and, I'll sit there with a cup of coffee and scroll through morning news, see what I'm depressed about this morning. And it's just that moment every single day where I'm like, because I'm just sitting there trying to wake up, read my stuff, and it's crunch, 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 crunch. It's like, God, I got to do something about this. But is it just, well, like I said, first world problem? But the phone has become the piece of technology that you are using more than any other in your life constantly. So it should, I think, I don't want to say that as a guy that justifies a new $1,000 purchase every year
Yeah.
because I certainly don't. Uh, but it should be something that you're at least happy using, I would think.
No, you're absolutely right. I hate how much phones have become ubiquitous in society and how they need to be used for just about everything.
Yeah,
And in that sense, yeah, you're not going out and spending $1,000 on a new phone. You're not going out and upgrading to the new iPhone every year because, this time they have something that Android had 3 years ago and they're going to charge 10 times more. Uh,
yeah. The
it,
the
it,
idea of being glued to a payment or a
yeah,
carrier, like
no,
or a
that,
contract while I pay down my phone, or they subsidize the phone hardware costs, so I'm stuck with them for. That's like the antithesis of everything that I'm about. Like
oh,
I
yeah.
can't get involved with that.
I still have, I believe I still have a Pixel 7 and it works perfectly fine. And I will probably go ahead and use that. I might actually already be past these security updates or they're coming up. And
Oh,
so
graphene,
that's,
man. That's where you got to install graphene. That's
I
why
know, I really
that's why
do.
I'm locked into Pixel's
Pixel, because you
hardware
have the
right
Graphene
now.
OS
They
on it.
they have full graphene support, which I've just fallen in love with it. I've been using it for almost a year now on this phone. And for anybody that's not familiar, Graphene OS is a project to de-Google Android, basically. And right now it only runs on Pixel hardware. They just signed a deal with Motorola for all their future models for support, so that'll be really cool. But it's a privacy-centric and focused mobile operating system that still can interact with all of Google services and Play services and the Play Store and all of that, but it sandboxes those services so everything you do on the device isn't constantly phoning home to Google or any other snooping service provider because I don't know, like we said, it's connected to every single thing you do in your life and it's on your person 99% of the time. And call me crazy, but yeah, I'd like to have some privacy in my life sometimes. So, huge fan of the Graphene project. God, having this conversation is just making me want to not be responsible and go to Best Buy and trade this thing in after this.
I mean, it's not responsible.
Well, no, but I mean, part of it, I'd be lying if I didn't say, like, I just want something shiny and new to play with, but I might look and see what they have in the refurb section.
Hey, shiny new. Go ahead and write a review on it. Post it on the page. Try and monetize it. Turn it into content. Make
There
it
you
work for
go.
you.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the 7, which was my last phone before getting this 9A, and I have been extremely happy with the upgrades in the camera sensor. That is kind of basically the most important part of a phone to me now.
Oh, me too.
Uh, but they're all so good. And so writing for the website, I end up taking a lot of pictures of handhelds, and that's been just such a huge quality of life upgrade because I am no photographer, but modern phones do 99% of the lifting for you and making your stuff look good where it otherwise definitely wouldn't have 10 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. I still have, I think, on my server because I've backed up all my photos and everything for
Yeah.
probably the last 20 years or so. And
I
seeing
have
some of the
stuff,
photos,
yeah.
yeah, just real bad quality photos from phones before. And now I'm not going to say they're professional quality at all because they're not, but you can take some really nice photos with phones these days.
Yeah, it's insane. But yeah, so I thought that was a fun way to talk about should I or shouldn't I, but yeah, now that we've talked about it, I probably will.
I think it makes sense. I mean, not that $200 is no amount of money, but $200 to go ahead and upgrade to the new phone. It takes that minor annoyance. Like you said, you use it for so much stuff. If you
Oh
were just
yeah.
using your phone for 5 minutes a day, I'd say no, dude. That it makes no sense to do that. It's not gonna bother you that much, but yeah, the phone is the biggest piece of tech that we use at this point. You might as well
Hmm.
make it comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. And this comes several weeks as after it's out of warranty, of course.
Oh yeah, no, that's exactly how those things work.
Yeah.
100%.
So you don't drop it until the day after the warranty is gone. And it would have been covered because there's no visible damage. It would have been considered a manufacturing
Hmm.
defect. So FML, I guess. But moving on from that, there was something we touched on the show a few weeks ago and then never followed up. You went and hid in the middle of the wilderness.
Yeah, no, I decided to just toss off the reins of oppression from capitalism and just wander off into the woods and disappear. I thought that would
Commune
be
with
a better
nature.
way of life. Yeah, I
Yeah.
figured, screw it. I don't need this stuff. I don't need any of this. No, yeah. So we were invited, Caitlin and I were invited to help out with a search and rescue exercise to certify a search and rescue dog and a search and rescue handler. I originally thought one or both of these people were new, but I learned something new in the process. And apparently, at least in New Hampshire, and maybe everywhere, but I don't know how operations work in other places. But when it comes to canine handlers for search and rescue, every single dog and every single searcher has to be certified together. So both this dog and this rescuer are certified many times over, but they have never worked together. So they needed to do their
Oh,
exercise together so they could be certified. So if something happens, if the dog's primary handler isn't able to search, there's another handler that has dealt with that dog that can then
and
take that dog out
they've
to
proven they're a successful team.
yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We showed up at about 7:15, 7:30 or so, so sun was starting to go down, and I was given a grid and told hide somewhere in here. This is we're trying to simulate the idea. He gave us the scenario. Caitlin and I were out hiking in a place that
Lost
we didn't
hikers in the
really
woods.
know. No,
Yeah.
well, she got hurt. I went to go call 911. I was able to call 911 to tell them where I was, then lost service, and then also could not find her.
Lost her.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Very
Uh,
realistic scenario. I'm sure it probably
which
happens a
yeah,
lot.
and
Yeah.
that was all that the searcher was told. Like it was played out like it was a real situation,
Yeah,
essentially.
absolutely.
So they had the grid. So from where I made the phone call, they had an idea like these people would be within these 60 acres, or we believe they'll be somewhere within these 60 acres. and we were told, go out in this grid and go get lost, just and hang out. You don't need to stay in the same spot, because that could also change things up a little bit. Maybe, if the dog finds your scent and has to, wander around. So we packed a few snacks or whatever. It was supposed to take up to 2 hours was the idea. And if it went past 2 hours, then uh-oh.
Turn your phones back on. Yeah.
So we grabbed some snacks, we grabbed a backpack, we just wandered out into the woods, and we were wandering around, went up and over some hills, went up around, some rocks, and found a nice, basically, hiding spot on the other side of a hill. It was very hidden. So it was we were trying to make it easy on Jada, I believe was the dog's name. And we hunkered down, and Caitlin had said, you know what, I'm going to go walk around. I'm just going to go wander. I'm like, okay, go for it. So she wandered off somewhere for about 10, 15 minutes. And funny enough, I guess Caitlin wandered off and then texted me like 10 minutes later and said, do you want me to come back to where you are, or should I just
stay
hang
lost
out here?
Yeah.
We had no service where we were out there, so I never got that text.
Nice.
Eventually, she found her way back, and she was like, why didn't you respond to my text message? I said, you didn't send one. It was a G chat message. She's like, well, it says that you read it. I said, I don't have a notification. You can look right here. And there was no service out there, which, again, plays into the whole scenario.
Yeah, well, GChat even more. I guess that you would need a data connection. I don't know.
Yeah.
Would
Yeah,
SMS be any more
SMS.
successful? Or I don't know.
I believe SMS probably would have been more successful than MMS. I believe.
Well, let me ask you this, because you might know.
RCT?
I don't get lost in the woods like you do. I mean, even if you had zero signal for cellular data, talk, whatever, GPS would still work, right? Because a GPS receiver in your phone just communicates with the satellites.
Yes, generally. And we actually, Jeremy, who was the person who invited us to do it, he was the evaluator. I can't remember what the app was that we were using, but he gave us an app, and it basically is just a GPS tracker. So we were at no risk of actually getting lost. He knew exactly where we were the whole time, but he wasn't going to tell them anything. It was just in case, something went terribly wrong, he'd be able to still find us. So we were there for about, I think, half an hour, and I could hear rustling in the trees. And mind you, it's starting to get dark now, and I've lived in the woods my whole life. I'm not super worried about wildlife or anything coming around. I don't think, I'm going to get eaten alive. It's a possibility, but it wasn't something I was worried about.
Dark very quickly.
Yeah. So I hear a noise run by, and I see off in the distance, and I'm like, crap. Like, the dog found us. But she just bolted by. And we're like, huh, all right. And then 10 minutes later, she bolts by away from us the other way. And I'm like, huh.
She's closing in the perimeter.
It's exactly what she did. She basically triangulated. She's like, you're from here to here. But she ran straight out to where Caitlin was hanging out in that spot. She was searching around there because Caitlin hung out there for about 10 minutes or so. So her scent was there.
Yeah.
But she wasn't there. So eventually, it probably, I think, took 50 minutes or so for us to be found. But the dog, hones in on us, runs through the woods. Yeah. Runs towards me, and just, literally runs right up to me, boops my knee, completely just ignores Caitlin, and just takes off again. And what she was doing is running back to the handler, because the handler, she took off. And the idea is the dog finds you, goes back to the handler, comes back to, and just basically keeps bouncing back and forth to lead the handler to where you were.
But also check on you. That's interesting.
Yes. Yeah. So she basically just kept going back and forth, and eventually they popped over and found us. And Jeremy had told us, he said, okay, I've been doing this for years. I'm pretty sure Jada is going to go in this direction and start looking for you that way, just because of the way the wind's going, the way everything goes. Because obviously the dog is it's going by scent. And it wasn't like, here's an article of, that was the wildest thing to me. It wasn't like, here's an article of our clothing, smell this and go find this scent. Yeah. Nope. It was literally, you guys going to wander off and she's going to find you. which is like a real world scenario. So I was asking him like, well, what happens if something like this happens and there's people, because we were off on hiking trails and basically we got lost on a hiking trail. Like, what if there's other people hiking? And she's like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
the dog can either smell whatever it is, the dog would know that the person is like, this isn't the person I'm looking for.
There's
And
no panic scent coming out
no,
of them. Yeah.
so it was wild. She found us, and that dog, the only thing the dog cares about is the toy. The dog knows that if she does her job, she gets her frisbee.
Yep.
And as soon as she finds us, she got her frisbee, and she was just obsessed with that thing. And it was a really cool experience to be able to see how all of this works. And we talked to him after. I'm like, if you guys need any more help doing this, like, put us on a short. Like, it was fun. It was enjoyable.
That's what I was
just to see
gonna
how it
say.
works out.
I bet you enjoyed it.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I was talking to you and John and Joe and Ian about it when I was out there, and I was trying to like send you guys some photos
Yeah,
or
I
something.
saw a little
Again,
video. Yeah.
yeah, like yeah, I'd sent you guys the video of her finally coming by and finding
Hmm.
us, but it was really cool. I had sent you guys that photo because once we had got found, by the time we got out, it was pitch black,
Yeah, I bet.
and I think it was a photo I sent you guys of an old Ford pickup that was just rotted, and because it used to be just old farmlands, and this was basically where farms used to just dump their crap out in the back of the woods, and this is where it lives because that's how we used to think. Apparently, back in the day, is that it's fine.
It was very Sopranos Pine Barrens reference. I'm sure I sent a GIF or two.
Yeah, you did. You sure
Yeah.
did. But yeah, it was really cool. I had a lot of fun. It was fun to be able to help out with something like that because obviously stuff like that is super important. Jeremy, I think it was last fall, he got called out in the at like 8 o'clock at night. So, and of course this is fall, so it was already dark. I guess it was either like a 2 or 3 year old was missing off in the
Oof.
woods. Yeah, and I think they found her shoe in like some mud, but obviously the child wasn't there. So uh he was actually able to find the child with his dog Freya, I believe. And it actually became national news. He got swamped. I was talking to him about it when
Interview
we were
requests and stuff.
yeah, he
Yeah.
had literally like national news organizations looking to talk to him. He was getting interviewed and this and that. And Jeremy's the same person who actually runs the pinball club
Oh,
over in
awesome.
Concord, Capital Pinball.
Yeah.
So it was kind of funny. He was supposed to be, I think it was the same night he was supposed to be hosting league night. So I think it was a Friday night. And he was like, I can't do this. I need to go. Can someone else cover? Because this is important. And
Yeah,
so it's
saving a
just
child over league night is yeah, he's got his priorities straight. Good for you, man.
depending on some of the players, though, they may they may
Yeah,
not see
I
it
play
the same way.
pinball. Trust me. Yeah, I get it.
I don't need to say more than that. We
Yeah,
both
no.
understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Obviously, I would have talked about it last week if I had more of a memory and I wasn't like a gnat and just forgot stuff 5 minutes after. But
No, it's funny that you mention like the interviews and then, they always have the dog sitting there and the dog's like, I just wanted my toy. In another life, I used to go into secure facilities quite often, and they have to do the whole mirror under your car thing
yep,
and walk the shepherds around the car, and a couple times the guys are like, "Hey, we're gonna put a training box in your trunk, okay?" And the dog would respond, and yeah,
yep,
just like you said, it would get its ball. Like all it was just a yellow tennis ball, but it was that dog's ball, and you
yep.
have never seen an animal be so happy in your
It was high,
entire
it's high
life.
priority.
Yeah, when getting that ball, and I think it was a big deal that he's getting the ball like while at work too.
Yep,
So it's just like extra special. It was awesome to see. They're amazing animals, man, and they like having a job too.
yep. Oh, absolutely,
Yeah. So it's yeah, dogs rule.
they do. How's Bowie doing?
He needs to get a job. He's a bum. I'll tell you what. He's like in his, if he was a human, he'd be just getting out of college. It's time for him to get a job. Damn it.
I mean, how the hell does he not have a modeling job?
That's true. I've never sought to get him proper representation because you don't want him to be a child star and they develop poor egos and then you got a coke-addled dog on your
It's
hands
true.
and I don't need that. No, we just need to find him some proper motivation. He'll be all right. I don't know
So,
where to go for this. I'll let you transition.
well, you were just talking about how you were doing training at work, and the
Hmm.
reward for that rescue or the search dog was a nice yellow tennis ball.
I see what you're doing here.
And
Yeah,
yeah, you were telling me that you watched, I think, an Amazon movie called Balls Up this week.
yeah.
Hey,
Don't
transition.
don't do what I did.
Watch it.
Um, yeah. So this was the find something Friday night light watching movie for the week, and saw that this was on Amazon. It is a Peter Farrelly film, who one of two Farrelly brothers who used to make some of the best comedies of all time back in the '90s, and then slipped off somewhere, and I'm not really sure where, but promising cast here. Despite having Mark Wahlberg, does
Ugh.
have Paul Walter Hauser, who PWH, that's my guy right there. You got Sacha Baron Cohen coming back into a major movie with this one. Um, Not sure.
What's up with the vanilla face?
There he is. Um, Molly Shannon's in this. Benjamin Bratt, who's playing pretty against character. Eric Andre, who I find more and more annoying as time goes on. But yeah, good pedigree for comedy here. And this was a huge piece of shit. This is the most shooting directly for 13 and 14-year-old boys with a hard R rating comedy I've ever seen,
Oh
possibly
boy.
ever. We talked about last week, movies that just have that streaming feel to them. This really feels that way. Starts out kind of promising enough, but it just leans on over and over and over, just overt, gross out, naughty parts, piss shit, boner, balls. Like, that's all it
There's
is.
our explicit rating for the
Yeah, oh,
week.
yeah, yeah, cool. Shit, piss, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits. There you go. It's just horrible. I mean, there were a few like chuckle parts. I'm not gonna lie. Early with Sacha Baron Cohen is kind of funny. That goes off the rails quickly. Molly Shannon is once again playing like a powerful female executive type, like she did in Only Murders in the Building, and she's
Hmm.
great. I mean, she's wonderful in that. Paul Walter Hauser is playing like the tight ass guy who's, really uptight and never really adventures out much, but now he's letting his hair down and going crazy with his fanny pack still on. Um, uh, this movie has no redeeming features whatsoever. Don't watch it. It's not funny. It's not good. And yeah, so Peter Farrelly is the guy that made Green Book out of the
Yeah.
two, and
Yep.
Something About Mary, and yeah, but he also made movie 43.
He's not done a whole lot of good recently.
No, he was a producer on Green Book, so his
Yeah.
brother must have been the director then.
Let's see. Green Book.
I don't know.
Peter Farrelly was the director.
Okay. I'm just looking at previous producer credits, maybe, but
He
I
did
don't
Ricky
know, man.
Stenicki with John Cena, so he's
Wherever there was somewhere in the early 2000s, they stopped making funny movies and started making stuff like Dumb and Dumber 2, which I've never actually seen, but what I have seen of it replaced comedy with extreme gross out humor. That's exactly
yeah.
what this is. I can tell you the premise to this movie is there a couple of condom execs. Mark Wahlberg from sales and PWH is the guy that invented a new condom that goes over both the shaft and the balls. And that's the
Okay.
premise of the entire movie, is them trying to get this condom to be the official condom of the World Cup. And everything goes
Right.
hilariously awry from here. Benjamin Bratt plays a FIFA executive who, within 10 minutes of the movie starting, is on a bender and smoking crack and getting naked and doing backflips through. And this is all like extremely graphic and hard R, but none of it's funny. It's just for shock value. Whether that's because we're all so stupid in the streaming age and that's what they're pandering to, or if it literally is just being a hard R going for young males, I don't know, but it's just awful. I don't have a whole lot more to say other than that. I was going to talk about Born to Bowl as something that I really did like this week, but you haven't finished it yet, so I don't want to ruin anything. Yeah, balls up. Yeah, don't watch it. It's just schlock, man. And I don't know how much these guys get paid to be in these things, but no one will remember that this movie existed within 6 months to a year. Maybe unless you're 14, you'll have special memories for it. I don't know. It's just, I hated it.
I was going to say, do you think, and I'm not saying that this is probably a good movie at all, and like I've said before, I don't really trust reviews all that much to begin with, but the reviews aren't good on this anyways. But do you think that it's because of where we are in life? Like, there's things that we enjoyed as teenagers that were like, oh yeah, this is amazing. And we may watch it now and be like,
I'm not
okay,
gonna
yeah,
say.
this
I'm not
is-
gonna tell you that like the Woody Harrelson drinking bull cum in Kingpin is highbrow humor, or something about Mary where he wipes cum through his hair is highbrow
right. Like
humor.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's
that shit
basically
was always there. It was, but there were things additional to that, like
It wasn't
actual
just
jokes
the
in the
gross out
script
humor.
that were clever and funny and amusing. It wasn't just leaning directly into that. Yeah.
So you're saying there's no, like in Dumb and Dumber, there's no scene where you get, I believe it was Jeff Daniels who said that he was written a John Deere letter.
Not this classy, but nice. Yeah, that's the stuff I quote. 30 years on, I don't talk about him having violent diarrhea 30 years on.
Right.
It's the actual funny lines, and there's it's safe to say some heart in those movies too. I don't know. It just feels different, and it's just frustrating. But needless to say, I don't know if I'll be looking forward to any future Farrelly brother comedies anytime soon.
Have you, this is going back, let's see, did he direct it or was he was a director. Have you watched Loudermilk, the show?
No, and I know you've talked about that with me before, and I should.
I'm not saying it's going to be an assignment because whatever.
That's Ron Livingston, right?
Yeah, Ron Livingston,
Yeah.
Will Sasso, Brian Regan. It's a really good cast, and that is super well done, and it does have it that I think is almost a throwback to some of the earlier Farrelly Brothers stuff. Like it's funny, and it tells a really good story. I believe there's some gross out humor here and there, obviously, but like that, I think was very well done. And I would highly suggest if you get a chance to check that out. It had 3 seasons, sadly got canceled. I think it was airing on like AT&T or something. It was one of those weird, like back in the mid 2010s where everyone had a streaming service, including like cell phone companies or something. And I think Netflix picked it up recently, and there was some hope that maybe there would be a 4th season because the 3rd season just kind of ended on a cliffhanger that doesn't get resolved because I don't think they were expecting to be canceled.
That's streaming.
Yep, I would highly recommend watching that. And we were talking about Dumb and Dumber, and I'm sure you know this little piece of trivia, but it's one of my favorite things to talk about. You know the scene where they go to the 7-Eleven and Jim Carrey comes out with his big gulp?
Did he improvise that line?
Not only did he improvise that line, but the guys he's talking to were not extras. Those were literally just people in the parking lot of that 7-Eleven. Like, they had no idea what was going on.
Hey,
and that's
guys,
one of my
big
favorite
gulps, huh?
things. Yeah.
Well, see you later.
See you later.
That's brilliant. Brilliant.
I absolutely love, I just put myself in those guys' shoes just standing there having Jim Carrey, who at that point you probably don't know who Jim Carrey is because Dumb and Dumber, I think was
No, that was his big year, man. So you had Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber all within like 18 months. So
yes,
he
but
had
they were all being filmed, so he probably wouldn't have been known yet.
He hadn't broken yet.
Yeah. So like you literally are just standing there enjoying yourself outside of a 7-Eleven because I think they were sitting there drinking their big gulps and this guy comes out who looks like a complete moron and just compliments your big gulps.
Well, that's to be fair, that's what's so genius about it is because
absolutely. That's what I love.
Stupid people do is just engage you over absolutely nothing for no reason other than liking to hear themselves talk because they don't really have an internal monologue, so they just speak it out at you. So their brain is going, I see these dudes hanging around with big gulps. Well, that's as much as I care to comment on this, and see you later.
Well, see you later.
Yeah.
I really would like us, and I know it was never going to happen, and who knows if they're still alive, but I would love to get the two guys from that scene on the podcast.
Oh, that would be amazing.
About the experience.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
But I'm sure they're not credited.
Well,
and
you can't say that those were just dudes standing there because it's not like they weren't filming a major motion picture at the front of that 7-Eleven, or maybe they thought it was downtime at the time or something.
I don't know. The trivia that I know is those guys didn't know that those guys had no idea what was going to happen. They probably did know that maybe they were extras. I don't know, but the way the story has been told.
Yeah, the Carrie had improv the line. Well, listeners out there, you go find out the truth about the story and come back to us and tell us where we got it wrong or
send us an email at wedon'thaveityet@gmail.com.
And if you were the guys standing outside of those big gulps, please reach out.
Please
we
reach
want
out
to know
us.
how you are, where you are in life, what's going on.
We want to know if you got free big gulps for the rest of your life. Do you enjoy 7-Eleven still? Are you recognized anytime you go to get a big gulp? These are the hard-hitting questions that I would love to ask somebody.
Again, don't have a transition unless you call it a celebratory big gulp, but you have a victory lap to take, friend, I think, from our conversation last week you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so last week we were talking about concerts. Not really sure how we got on the topic. I probably am going to a show or something, and I kind of just started to go on a little rant about how Ticketmaster is terrible, how they have a monopoly
Weird Al
on the
tickets.
system. Yeah, Weird Al tickets, yeah. How they have a monopoly on the system, and they're terrible, and I have no idea how they're able to do what they're doing, because Ticketmaster is a terrible company that has, I think, I believe I took a note because this came out after we recorded last week.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see if I actually wrote what I want to say. Oh yeah. So this article that we were reading, this was from the New York Times, and it was announced right after we finished recording the podcast last week. So I'd like to think that us talking about this on the podcast is what, I shouldn't say that the jury heard it because that might be some type of, tampering.
Liability, yeah.
Yeah. But the New York Times article, I guess let me back up a second. So apparently there was a lawsuit that's been going on between Live Nation and Ticketmaster that I honestly thought wasn't happening anymore. I thought this current administration squashed it, and
there was an FTC investigation that got, I don't know what happened to it, but I had read headlines earlier this year. It's like, yeah, they're quietly making that go away.
Yeah, well, it turns out there was still some form of a lawsuit going on accusing Live Nation and Ticketmaster of being an illegal monopoly for concert tickets.
And price fixing.
Yeah, and the jury found them illegal. They found them that they are in a monopoly. Yeah. So one of the takeaways I found from the article, which I thought was kind of funny, the jurors were shown internal data from Ticketmaster as part of the trial, and there was something they saw that showed that, here it is, fan satisfaction with Ticketmaster had dropped from 18%, which is terrible. 18%, if 18% of people like you,
18% of your entire customer base views you favorably.
In 2021. In 2023, that satisfaction was down to 1%.
Yeah, partner.
Clay Davis is all over this one.
Like, that is wild. 99%, which I guess I don't know that because there's obviously going to be people there that say, I don't care, I don't know. But still, 99% of people did not see you favorably. Like,
Yeah, well, I mean, you run a complete monopoly that price fixes and treats your customers like absolute garbage. And if I use your service, you pile on fees that are completely unnecessary and call them legal and necessary. And because you have a powerful lobby, I get screwed and can't see bands I want to go see. And
yeah.
if they want to tour and you don't get used by you, they get frozen out of the entire industry if they don't
Mhm.
bend and kiss the ring. God, I hate them so much, Wyatt.
But you know what? This is good news, though.
It is
So
good
we can
news.
we can hate them, and these good things happened. I would like to point out, and this goes towards me not liking either of these people, so it's fine. But Kid Rock apparently was supposed to be a possible witness and didn't testify, which whatever. But in quotations in this article, it says managers of Drake and Dave Matthews spoke with praise for Live Nation. Like,
Dave Matthews, tour manager, who famously dumped a full
bunch
bus
of
worth
poop
of
in Chicago.
shit, a full bus tank worth of shit over a tourist boat on a bridge in Chicago by accident. Not that he was purposely dumping his shit because they were going over a bridge into the river, and he's like, "Let me dump this feces into the waterways of Chicago below us because I'm a decent human being." That's the guy standing up for Ticketmaster, folks. I just want you to know that. Same person.
I do have to say that's the most rock and roll thing that Dave Matthews has done in his entire career is dumping shit onto a
Yeah.
boat in the
Yeah.
Chicago.
Oh boy.
Anyway, yeah, no, it's just I'm not really sure what's going to happen with this now. Technically, since it's been found to be an illegal monopoly, Live Nation and Ticketmaster are going to need to be broken up in
Yep.
some way. What
Yep.
that's going to entail, I don't know, but hopefully this alleviates a little bit of just these poison pill tickets that you can't see anything without pay. Oh, these tickets are $50 for pretty good seats. That's awesome. Oh wait, after fees, it's $130 because
Well, no, the ticket was $30, but then Ticketmaster bought it for their own supply and they're selling it back to you for $50 plus the fees. And then if you can't use it, they're going to charge you fees again because there's no possible way to sell it because you don't have a paper ticket that you can pass to another person or a PDF with a scannable thing or a revolving digital code that could be easily implemented. No, you have to use their sales service and sell it to them, and they get to charge you fees coming and going. So at the end of the day, you have nothing, but you got charged a ton of money anyway. Is that about right?
yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
You know what? I was gonna have a different chump of the week, and I'm pretty sure Ticketmaster was probably chump of the week last week, but they're definitely Ticketmaster and Live Nation's taking the chump of the week again this week, and this time it's because they blew it.
Yes.
They chunked it.
So, Ticketmaster, Live Nation, you are worthless, and you are the chump of the week.
And you are my chump of the week.
Chumps. Moving on to brighter things. We actually played some games this week. Do you want to talk about that, or do you want to talk about the pass of gaming?
Let's talk about the pass of gaming because I believe our chat about working together is going to have to be a Backlog Buster Brothers discussion.
Yes, this is true. This is true. Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to excuse myself for a brief respite, and we'll be right back to talk about the future, or lack thereof, of Xbox's Game Pass service.
Hey, what's up, Detroit? It's April in the D, that magical month when the Pistons, Red Wings, and the Tigers are all playing at the same time. This is my video submission for the Fox Sports Detroit theme song contest. Please vote for me. Check it out. This is the Tigers and Red Wings of mine. It's April in the D. 3 Detroit sport teams playing at one time. All Detroit ladies looking oh so fine.
All right, well, we are back. I'm sure Nick has had some amazing commercial drop there that you got to listen to and enjoy. And let's get back into it. So, Game Pass, huh?
Yes, so I believe I sent this to you, and
You
can
did.
check it in the show notes. There was a Kotaku article written by Ethan Gach, or Gach. Can Game Pass be saved? An ex-PlayStation exec claims the prognosis is grim. As Microsoft signals a reevaluation, analysts speculate about what needs to change. long and the short of it is, Game Pass loses Microsoft a ton of money. There's no possible way it could be profitable as it sits, and it also has started to kind of be a drain on consumers because it's too expensive. And it's been 2 years since they released numbers on Game Pass subscribers. The last time that they did, it was at 34 million paying subscribers, and they haven't released metrics since then, so you can bet it's only gone down while
Yep.
getting more expensive. So I guess my question to you would be, is it salvageable as a service? And I think we've both gone on record saying that once our subscriptions expire, we're both unlikely to ever re-up. Do you still feel the same way?
Mine already expired, and I don't have it anymore. So
Well, there you go. A man of his word.
So for anyone, I mean, Nick gave us a brief description, but for anyone that may not be in the know, Game Pass is Xbox's way for you to essentially pay. It's the Netflix of video games, essentially.
A Netflix-style subscription model gives you unlimited access to everything on offer within the service.
Yeah.
And depending on the tier you pay for, it could stretch from Xbox to PC exclusive titles to anything in their entire ecosphere and partnerships with EA and Ubisoft and that sort of thing. But at its core, lets you play games for free every month.
Free after
free
you pay.
quote after you pay an ongoing forever subscription. Yeah.
So right now, I believe there are several, maybe 4 tiers of Xbox. I'm looking at this right now. Yeah. So there's the PC Game Pass, which gives you games only on your PC, which is good if you're only a PC gamer and you don't feel like you have the need to access Xbox games as well. That's $16.50 a month. There's Xbox.
That was $7 a month when it started,
Yes.
if I recall correctly.
Yeah. I think when it first started, I think it was included, and then it spun off into
You're right.
PC
You're right.
Game Pass.
Yep.
Yeah. There's also Xbox Game Pass Essential, which gives you about 50 games and online multiplayer. That's essentially what Xbox Live Gold was before Game Pass started. I believe Xbox, and I could be wrong, but I think they've gotten rid of the monthly games at this point. I'm probably
Yes, they have.
wrong. They have? Okay.
To the best of my knowledge, that ended a couple months ago, maybe at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, so the Essential is $9.99 a month, which I believe is about what Xbox Live Gold used to cost if you paid monthly and not yearly. Xbox Game Pass Premium, which gives you 200 plus games, gives you online multiplayer, and it gives you access to new games within 12 months of release. Originally, when Game Pass came out, the idea was you got day one releases of all Microsoft's owned properties. There is then the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate tier, which is $30 a month, and that gives you everything. That gives you PC, that gives you gaming, that gives you day one releases, that gives you access to EA Play, which is EA's little Netflix-style service, and I think it also gives you access to Ubisoft. I might be wrong about that.
Well, it gives you access to I don't know about the tiers, but it gives you access to cloud streaming games.
It also gives you access to cloud streaming too. Yes.
Yeah, depending on what you're using, that was kind of the push behind that whole failed marketing campaign of anything can be an Xbox. This is an Xbox. Your phone is
cardboard
an Xbox.
box is an Xbox.
It just makes people super confused. Yeah.
Yeah. When everything's an Xbox, nothing is an Xbox.
Exactly. Yeah. In essence, was saying you can stream games from anywhere now if you have the Game Pass service, and thus hardware doesn't matter. They've backpedaled since.
Yes, they realized that was bad marketing.
Yes, but to its credit, I being someone who has a ton of Android handhelds, I use the game streaming all the time for games that I wanted to try out, maybe, or also games that I don't want to devote a 100 and 200 gig download to, but might want to play a little bit of. And if you have a device with a modern good Wi-Fi chip, it's gotten pretty damn good. Like,
I've played a lot of streaming.
Yeah.
They Microsoft does handle that well. Of course, they have Azure. They have cloud services. They know how to run this stuff.
Yes.
So they do have that advantage. But to get to the crux of the matter, I think Game Pass is gonna probably go the way of Movie Pass. there's
Good
just
analogy, pretty. I mean,
yeah, there's no
it's 1-to-1.
there's no more growth to be had. They're now pricing people out. You're going to see all the people like me and you that were able to get in on the deals. I believe there at one point there was a
Well, it's what we
deal
did was to
essentially.
convert gift cards
Yep,
for Xbox Live service over to Game Pass
yep. I think
Ultimate
it
because
was
they
like
were trying to get everybody onto it, so it worked out to pennies on the dollar
yeah,
for
you would
years
just
worth
get
of
12
subscription.
months of live, and they were doing a deal for most of the time that you could spend $1 to convert that into
Yep.
Game Pass Ultimate. And both
Yeah.
of us, I assume, stacked up probably 3 years because that's what you could do at the time
Yep.
for pennies on the dollar, and it was an amazing service at that price.
Yep.
Absolutely.
But
And
when
we knew it wasn't going
we're
to
in
last.
the fully subsidized territory, it's always great, and then it turns to shit like Uber and food delivery and all that good stuff.
It's the enshittification of technology.
Yeah, well, I
It's
mean, when they're trying to build a user base, they're gonna make it amazing, and then they start to
yeah,
chip away at the things that gave it value in the first place, and that's how it go.
that's Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah, everything. So I don't know if this has been floated. I did skim the article a bit, so apologies if it did, and you can tell me if it was mentioned. But has there been anything that's been suggested that maybe there would be an ad-supported tier or something? I'm not
Not
sure how that would play out,
not
but
that they've mentioned that I saw. The one thing that I think is being floated is a lower tier for Xbox first party published titles, which obviously includes quite a bit at this point. A
yeah,
couple
what
of years ago, you would say,
Bethesda,
yeah, a couple of years ago,
Activision,
you would say, who gives a shit about Gears of War having access to it all the time, kind of thing. But now you're talking about Blizzard, Bethesda,
yeah,
Activision.
Diablo, Call of Duty.
Yeah, all your major franchises are under some of these umbrellas that they have. So that honestly, there's a fair line of thinking there if they could get the price back down because if you're a smart analyst, you would know that everybody out there is feeling the crunch on extra expenditures now. So get the price back down to where it was. Maybe it is viable for these properties you already own because they must be paying an absolute fortune in licensing fees.
They have to be. They absolutely have to be. No one really has ever, and I'm sure it has something to do with whenever they sign up with Game Pass. Like no one said what their deals have been to
Mm-hmm.
sign up for it, but I know that and I wish one of these days I'm going to be a better podcaster and I'm going to make better notes and I'm going to actually save these articles I read. And it might have actually been this article, but I know that there was a company that Xbox really wanted their game and paid for all of their development costs and said, this is going to release on Game Pass. We're going to pay
Game
for all
Pass
this. We really
exclusive.
want. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't keep doing that. Like
Yeah,
that
well, I mean, how do you
just
argue with that as a dev? They're like, well, they just
right.
paid our entire runway, so I guess we're going along with it because why wouldn't we? But does that impact later sales for them? Maybe. I don't know.
The one of the biggest exceptions I would probably say, and this isn't a hot take or anything, but Expedition 33. I'm sure there's
Mm-hmm.
so many people that only played that because of Game Pass
Me.
that went out and bought physical
Well,
copies of
that's what I wanted to say that too is, funnily enough, I have not purchased a physical of 33 yet, but I probably will. I treat Game Pass almost like I treat piracy.
It's a trial.
I use it like
It's
a
a
demo
demo.
service. Yeah, a demo service. Even if I play the entirety of a game, if I liked it enough, I'll still go pick up a physical shelf copy because I liked that game enough, even if I just played it on through Game Pass.
Sea of
I'm weird
Stars.
like that. Yeah,
I played
Sea
through
of
Sea of
Stars,
Stars on Game
absolutely.
Pass, and I
Yep,
went and bought. I have 2 physical copies actually of Sea of Stars. Yeah,
right
like
there, man. I bought that
yeah,
on Steam and on physical for Switch because I played it first, I think, on Game Pass. And
Slay the Spire. I played Slay the
there
Spire
you
on
go.
Game Pass, and now I think I own it for every single thing it has been released on. I wish there was a physical edition of
Yeah, I
it,
don't know if we're the
which
exception in that, but I don't think so.
no, I don't.
Um,
I think if someone enjoys the product, you will go out, you'll want to keep it. I mean, I guess maybe we're the exception in the sense that we're still physical collectors,
yeah,
and a
well, I was
lot
saying,
of
I don't know
people
if
are
some
going towards
people,
digital.
yeah, or if younger people do treat games as kind of disposable in so much as they've only ever known streaming services, and that's how they consume media. It's consume and on to the next, consume on to the next, and I don't know that there is that wanting to make a physical connection because it's only a digital title. But I'd like to think that they still might want to revisit the experience and thus want to have some ownership of it, because it's gonna, unless it's a Microsoft game, it's gonna go off the service at some point.
Yeah. So if you're a young person or any person, reach out to us. Email us at we don't have it yet at gmail.com and let us know how you feel about this entire topic. Are
Well,
you
I think
someone that
it's
just plays games on Game Pass and then you move on? Do you play games and then if you enjoy the game, are you going to go out and physically search for it to own it? Like,
I think that it's the Zers that are making a push back towards physical ownership and physical media, and bless them for it, man. It's more likely our age group that are like, why would I do that? I have everything on streaming now. It's all I need.
Yeah, I guess, maybe we are more in like
We're
with
the
the younger
exception in
generations
our own
that sense.
demographic. Yeah.
Yeah, which is sad because I understand the argument. I do understand the argument that physical media takes up a ton of space. It does. You have to
Yeah, not
dedicate.
everybody wants shelf walls like us.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas I've now, as we've said, I've got my podcast studio down here now. I've actually got a nice little theater gaming room outside of this room here down in the basement, and I'm trying to unpack all my games. Trying to unpack all my games, and I need more shelves.
Space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time to go to IKEA.
Yeah, well, the sad thing is the closest IKEA is like 2 hours away.
But the Walmart and Target furniture does not stack up.
No, it doesn't, which
comparatively
is
for the
why I
price.
usually hit thrift stores and or
Oh, and then you're talking.
flea
You can get your
markets
go for your
and-
like solid wood grandma
Yeah.
pieces. Yeah, that stuff will never let you down.
Yeah, no. That was my early to mid 20s where it was Target, Walmart, Amazon furniture that I could just quickly toss together as something to use. But now that I'm in my ripe old 30s, it's time to be an adult and be able to display my toys and video games.
No, but it goes past that now. Whereas I'm now in the adult parent age where I'm like, I don't give a shit about any of my furniture being nice because between the dog and the kid, it's just going to get trashed anyway. So hell yeah, I'll buy this $20 IKEA table.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to get some nice furniture because I've never owned a piece of furniture aside from the mattress I bought from Jordan's Furniture for mattress, box spring, and frame for $200. That's the only piece of furniture I have bought new. Every other piece of furniture in this house, and I think that I have had, it has been free, either a hand-me-down from family, from a friend that actually got real furniture, or a very cheap thrift store find. So
Yeah.
at some point, I would love to be able to buy a piece of furniture.
Well, buy stuff that's to your own taste.
Well, no,
for
absolutely. I'm not
sure.
just, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But it's like I'm kind of glad we moved thousands of miles away from our extended families because we're hitting the age where relatives are getting a
Yep.
little older and scaling down quite a bit. And
You don't want
we had several calls like, "Well, this armoire, it's beautiful. Would you guys love to take it one day?" No. What am I going to display my fine dishware in this thing? What the hell? It is beautiful. I agree with you, but what am I going to do with it? It's funny just how many things aren't really usable anymore, I guess.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
We got on Game Pass and then started talking about
yeah.
IKEA furniture. But yeah, I don't know what the solution is with Game Pass, honestly, but I can tell you once mine expires, yeah, I'm right there with you. And
Yeah, no, I'm done. It's
yeah.
just it doesn't make fiscal sense for me at this point. There are no real deals to be had anymore. If I was going to use it, it would have to be the $30 a month tier because I use the streaming really more than anything.
Well, I know that I have app solutions, so I'm not concerned about it. But let me ask you this: do you know if I use the official Xbox app on Android, where I can stream games over the internet, but I can also stream from my console? Am I supposed to have a subscription to be able to do that, to stream locally, or is that no matter what?
I don't know, actually. I know the streaming from the internet is, but my gut tells me that you probably do still need to pay to stream locally.
Well, so now
which
they're also offering a service via Game Pass, and I'm pretty confident this is locked behind a subscription where you can stream your own games. And this kind of leads into what we're about to talk about in Backlog Buster Brothers, is that I purchased Marathon. It is not on Game Pass. And
is it on Game Pass?
It is not. It is not on Game Pass in any way.
Okay.
But I purchased it digitally, and obviously I can play it from my Xbox console, but I can also stream it from my Xbox console to various handhelds. But because I have Game Pass and it's part of the Stream Your Own Game program, I can actually stream my save of the game from their servers, even though it's not on Game Pass. If you were able to follow that.
No, I was, yeah. No,
yeah. So I can stream it from Microsoft servers to any device, with an internet connection because I purchased it and own it on Xbox. And I'm pretty sure that's locked behind the Game Pass subscription, whereas streaming it from my own console would not be.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that has to be locked behind the subscription because that seems too valuable, I guess, to just give away for free, knowing how Microsoft is.
And so I guess going from that, it's time to talk about another video game experience. And if I could find the music that I need, I could get into it.
Well, if you didn't have 7 million drops...
Yeah, that how'd you know that that's the problem?
Okay. I know you, buddy. We've been doing this for almost a year.
Which brings us into everybody's favorite segment, Backlog Buster Brothers. I said Backlog Buster Brothers. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, let's tell the people very quickly that we gave each other the same assignment last week, which essentially it boiled down to we're going to play a video game together this week because we haven't done. I don't know the last time that we played a game together.
Prior to starting this show,
I was gonna say probably more than 8 months ago.
Yeah,
and it might have been was probably Helldivers 2. I think was the last time that we played a game together.
Yeah, that was in there, and you and I were playing the zombie game.
Oh yeah, Dying Light. That was probably the last time we played together. But yeah, so we played Marathon. You and friend of the podcast Ian bought me a copy because I was hemming and hawing saying, I don't know if it's really something I want to pay. I don't know if I'm going to play it. And
we needed a third.
Yeah, you guys forced my hand. So you are a lot more familiar with this game than I am. So why don't you give a brief overview of
Okay, so Marathon was actually a first-person shooter released on the Mac ecosystem way back in the 90s, early 90s. By Bungie. It was their first game, their first title, and I believe they always wanted to revisit that world at some point, and that's what this is. But Bungie, best known for the Halo and more recently Destiny series. And since they've kind of moved on from those properties or whatever's going on, whoever develops them now, they aren't doing it. They have released Marathon, and this is a kind of dystopic sci-fi extraction shooter in the vein of Helldivers or Helldivers 2. So you and up to 2 other teammates warp down to a map and then have contracts to carry out with various objectives of what you have to do. But there's also on those maps, there's baddies that are computer controlled or AI, whatever you want to call it, robots that are quite tough, but there's also other teams of people that are out to just kill you as well. So it's your job to go down, try and complete your missions, extract as much loot as you can, and get out without dying. And the without dying part is the real snag of it, as I think Wyatt can attest. The game is brutally unforgiving. It's not unfair, and it's not even necessarily hard. It's just unforgiving. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, we you, Ian, and I hopped in together. Gosh,
it was a Wednesday night.
Wednesday night, I believe.
Thursday night, whenever it was.
Yeah, one of those nights
Yeah.
we decided to play together, and yeah, I have a lot of experience in first person shooters. I don't play them so much anymore. Even fewer PvP games do I play. I just kind of, I don't know.
Oh, I got you to play Battlefield once, and you were remarkably competent, I would say.
Yeah, like I know how to play them. I'm not
Yeah.
terrible at them. It's just I don't know. I think I maybe burnt myself out playing Call of Duty when I was young. I mean,
Back
I
in the
played
day,
a lot
yeah.
of Call of Duty online.
That really, really hit you at the right time too.
Yes.
I know our
Yeah.
age difference in ages, and yeah, that's
Yes,
if I was
that hit me right in college. And
yeah, if I was playing it after getting off work at the bar every night, then you were in the dorms somewhere or an
Yeah.
apartment. Just yeah.
Yeah, my cousin Matt and I played a lot together, and we got really good at it for a while. And it just same thing, you know. NHL. I played NHL competitively online for years.
Professionally, apparently, which I never even knew until recently.
Technically professionally, but not really. I mean, I guess if there's money exchanging hands, then yes.
If you got paid for something, you are then a professional at that
It's true.
thing.
That's why I'm also a professional baker.
There you
I'm a
go.
professional at a lot of things. But anyway, yeah, so it just kind of fell in that category of I played myself out of it. So I was a little weary. I was appreciative that you guys bought it. I was like, I don't know if I'm really going to enjoy this, but I'd like to play games with you guys.
You know it's going to be a good hang. That's the
Yeah,
you know
and that's what
that's
I
the
looked at
worst
it
you're going to
as-
have is
I-
a game you don't really love, but at least we get to chit chat.
Yeah. I don't know the last time that I get a chance to talk to Ian. It was probably at Really Rad Weekend last year. I don't think we've talked online at all really since then. We've chatted,
Right.
you know, back and forth, but actually talking, it's been 8 months or so or whatever, 10 months, 6 months. And you and I, outside of this podcast, we text chat a lot.
I mean, that's just the way it is, man. I have so
Yeah,
many
it's
friends
life.
like back in Baltimore, you know, that I talk to on a daily, but like you just said, I haven't spoken to in months.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was like, this will be fun. I'll get to chat with the guys and we'll screw around. And I'm happy to say I had a lot of fun. I still have no idea what I'm doing. I believe there's 5 or 6 different like
Classes.
classes that you can play,
Heroes,
which are
I
your
guess.
basic classes. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, your assault, your medic, your recon, your
Thief, assassin.
Yep. And, you know, just trying to learn that. They all have their own special abilities, which I still have no idea really what any of them do. I was playing just as like the assault class for a little bit when we were playing, and then figured, screw it, I'm going to play as a medic, because that's what I played as when I played Call of Duty 3 with Matt. I was
love
medic.
to be a team player in those
Yeah.
in those games because a lot of people don't.
Yeah, whenever I played a little bit of Overwatch when it first came out, and same thing, I'd play the support class. I had fun
Oh,
playing support
Overwatch
classes.
was so much fun. That was like such a great time when it first came out, and then they just ruined the product horrifically.
yeah.
You can't even play the original anymore.
Nope,
But
you sure
onward.
can't.
Sorry.
No,
The days of 6 Torbjorn teams. God, we had some laughter in that game.
so we got our asses kicked essentially a bunch of times. I think we exfilled a couple times maybe.
Yeah, death comes from every
Swift
angle, and
and
it
often.
comes swiftly and often. Yep, exactly. And
So-
it could be some random other humans sniping you out from across the map after it waits for you to try and go after something, or it can just be the punishing
CPU taking you out.
CPU guys. Yeah.
So there were 2 things that we did that made me go, all right, I still haven't played it since, and I know there's a class called Rook, which essentially that's the only solo thing you can do.
Yes.
And can you explain what that is? Because I haven't played Rook at all.
Okay,
I'm
so well,
not-
the game is designed for. There are ways to play as teams of 2, even though they kind of got out of that in the duo mode that they were baiting. But essentially, it's designed to be played by teams of 3. That's so even if
Yeah.
you're just a one-person thing, you can opt to go alone, but you'll likely die. If you play as a single person, it'll try and match you up with 2 other players. But there is one class called Rook, where you can play alone with other teams of people on the map. And basically your job is to go in and mess them up, try and kill them, and gather as much loot for yourself. You're not really filling traditional contracts as you would as a team. You're stopping them from being able to do it and stealing all their stuff. That's your motivation. And so as you can imagine, when you're playing the team side of things and you come across a group of robots and you start engaging with them. Well, spatial audio plays a huge part in the game. So that
That
rook
was the
who's out there,
wild part.
yeah,
Is the
that rook
spatial
who's out
audio
there,
is
it's incredible. The audio
yeah.
design in the game is incredible. So that rook who's out there now hears across the map faint gunfire, books it over to us in a firefight, and while we're busy fighting these robots, he comes up and double taps us all in the back of the head and then stabs our bodies. That's what the game is. It's brutal, it's fun, and that's what Rook is too. So it's trying, but I've never been upset about dying. I've always been like, okay, yeah, well, I did that wrong, and that was brutal. But I'm so geared up to like get right back out there
Yep.
that
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
it's
care.
definitely those one more time games.
Yeah,
It's not one of those this is stupid and then you
yeah.
just hang it
I've
up.
never felt the controller chuck urge. Not that I do, but it's not rage inducing at all to me. It's fun. I'm laughing while I'm getting my ass kicked. Which what better thing can you say while playing with buddies?
No, absolutely. So as I was saying before until I went off on my own tangent, there were two things in that game that made me go, all right, I want to come back and play this with you guys again. The
Yeah.
first was we got involved in a firefight and you and Ian got just knocked and I was the only one left. I still have no idea what I'm doing and I wiped their entire team and saved you guys. That
Yeah,
was
I got to
so
watch it
hectic.
as a corpse crawling and shuffling and bleeding out on the ground and like huddling behind some wall. I see like Wyatt come out of nowhere and just knife these three people and totally end their world. And yeah, that was hilarious. And I think proves once again that you're the traditional sandbagging Wyatt that we all know and love.
I didn't say I was going to be terrible at it. All I
No
said
belief
was
in
I
his own
didn't know the
abilities,
game.
ladies and gentlemen. No belief in himself. He, of course, steps in first game, just completely rips up, solos through a whole team, saves us both, and we all complete our missions.
Well, I try. So the other thing, which didn't work out for us, but I thought was the coolest thing, and I really hope that we get to experience it again.
Oh, this ties into the
is
spatial audio.
Yes.
Yeah.
So along with the spatial audio, there's also, oh my God, proximity chat.
Yes.
You can hear other teams around you. If you have proximity chat on, what you say can go out and can be heard by people in the area, or other teams if they're talking, you can hear them. And it
Yeah,
sounds
so
like, according
if I'm
to
a
you
rook,
and Ian,
yeah,
Yeah.
like spying on you
yeah.
guys, I can stand there and listen to your conversation that you're having over the mic in game chat
yes,
because I'm in that building. It's awesome.
yeah. So you and Ian we were running around, and I don't know if one of you guys fired at these other guys or what happened, but something happened, and this guy comes over proximity chat. He's like, yo, 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 we're friendly, we're friendly.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys want to do missions together? And just for whatever reason, it was so cool. And I wish there was, and maybe there is, I wish there was a better way to team up with other teams, because obviously friendly fire is going to be on at that point because
Yeah.
they are still enemies. You have to trust that you're working together, which even if they decided to stab us in the back, I was like, I don't care. Like, whatever.
Yeah, it was
This
just a
is-
fun, let's just go along with it. And that's what's cool about the game. We're like, let's just go with this. I'm in.
Yeah, and I think it was either you or Ian that said that the game is trying to kind of force more of that by giving you a special kind of currency if you work together and help other people complete their contracts or something. I'm not exactly sure on
I think
that.
it's a move. Yeah, I don't know the details, but it's a move towards making it more accessible for new players because the fact of the matter is, like, it's brutal at its core anyway. But if you just get in and just keep getting wiped by other
Yeah, you're not
players
gonna
and
wanna play.
teams, exactly.
But so yeah, these guys came in and they're like, "Oh, we're friendly, like let's team up together." And I don't know if it was someone went and still took a pot shot at him because you have to actually turn proximity chat on. And I think I had mine automatically, so I'm like, "Oh yeah, no guys, they're good." So we went across the map, the six of us, and we ended up getting into a firefight with some other team, and we got wiped.
Well, that's the thing that sucked about it is we're chatting to this guy, and he's with us, and I don't think that there were any shots fired or exchanged before the friendly call. I think it was we picked up on each other on proximity
Was that what it was?
chat.
I just know it sounded very frantic, so I didn't
He
know
heard us
if-
talking and we heard him talking, and it was like, wait, who are you? And it was, I think it was Ian that told me, like, don't shoot at him.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Then we were off on a mission, all together, and we ran into another crew. But the problem was they all look like enemies to me. So this other crew came in and wiped us out because I didn't know who the hell to shoot at.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
like I
just
said,
complete chaos.
I wish, and maybe there is some way, but maybe there isn't. I wish there was a way because you can ping
To mark
different
them
things.
as
Yeah, if you can
okay,
ping
yeah.
and say it's friendly, and then you have
Yeah.
that pop up on your screen and have just have green
Yeah, I should be
dots
able to
above
put like
them or
a
something.
a green marker over that
Yeah.
team. Yeah, they should add that for sure because that would have been super helpful, and then I could have not all died hopefully.
So Bungie, I know you listen to this podcast, and I know that
Yes.
we are very
We
big
have their ear.
influencers in the video gaming space. If you guys just wanted the next update, even just hot fix it, just make it so we can tag other teams and change them
Yeah,
from
and
either
if you'd
being
like
an
to have
enemy
us in
tag to
for
a
a
friendly tag.
Q&A on future patch notes, we're available. But you will have to pay our day rate.
Yeah, you just reach out to our management team at we don't have it yet at gmail.com, and we'll make sure that they get back to you.
That person who responds will definitely not be Nick or Wyatt. It'll be our agent or a member of our representation team who will discuss percentages in business, what have you. We're just talent.
Yeah, we don't like to get involved in the nitty gritty. We're artists. We don't really care about the money,
Thank
but
you. Thank you. I don't like to say it about myself, but you said it, so I feel good about it. Yeah. Artists, that's the word.
We're artists. We don't care about the money, but with the way capitalism works these days, we need to make
It's
it
a necessary
so
function, Wyatt.
Yeah.
A necessary function of our art. Yeah.
that's why we got our management team. They
That's right.
handle that stuff for us, and then that way we can just do the creative stuff. And
It frees us up, is what it does. It frees us up. Yeah.
And that's why you get awesome episodes like this every week.
Right, people? Oh God.
Yeah, you guys love this. We know it. But so in the spirit of doing this Backlog Buster Brothers, reviewing stuff
And co-op.
and co-op. Yeah, I enjoyed playing this game. I hope that we can get together and play again. I know Ian wanted to play last night, and either I had already gone to bed or I was out. He went out or something, and he wanted to play a little bit. So I think we're gonna have enough opportunities to hop back together. I know you and Ian have probably played quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. A couple extra nights, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited to get back in. I haven't touched it since Wednesday or Thursday, whenever we played it last. But
that's all right. Nor I. It's about getting on with the buds.
I really hope that maybe we could hop back on to Helldivers 2 again sometime too. I really enjoyed
agree.
when we were able
if
to play
anything,
that.
if anything, this has made me want to go back and play more of that. I really enjoyed that, but then everybody got distracted by whatever the next shiny thing was and decided to move on. But
Helldivers 2, which I'm pretty sure I now own on Steam and PlayStation. So
that makes two of us, pal. That makes two of us. Yep. I think it was this group of friends wanted to play it on PlayStation, and that group of friends was already here on PC. And even though it's cross-play, I ended up buying it on both somehow.
Yeah, it happens. That's
that
life.
it do.
So, Nick, our favorite time, we're going to give each other our weekly assignments.
Duh.
Let's start with you. You, I believe, have to give me media, movie, TV show, etc. this week.
Yes. So after our discussion last week, we had both watched and kind of given our best spoiler-free review of Project Hail Mary, and you had talked, I think, the week before about going to the Artemis launch. I decided that let's stay in space, and I'm not sure if this came up when we were just chatting on Marathon, but I think maybe it did. We talked about Alex Garland. And how Annihilation and Ex Machina are some of my favorite movies, and I know we both loved the show Devs that he did for FX. That was
anyone
brilliant.
out there who has not seen that, you need to check out Devs. It's 7 or 8 episodes. It's a self-contained story miniseries. It's really good. Nick Offerman's in it.
Yeah, written and directed by Alex Garland, and I just think he's brilliant. I know people had some feelings about Civil War that I didn't agree with. But,
still haven't seen it.
I thought it was brilliant. It's not a memorable, enjoyable feature, but it was still brilliant.
I hear it hits a little too close to home right now.
Well, yeah, maybe. But so this is stepping back for him a little bit. Before he was directing, he wrote a movie that was directed by a fellow Brit named Danny Boyle of Train Spotting and many other things fame. And this movie's called Sunshine. This movie came out in 2009, I believe. And I immediately fell in love with it when I discovered it, I think,
2007.
on DVD. 2007, excuse me. And if you look over The cast, it's pretty amazing because everybody in it is an absolute superstar now and weren't necessarily at the time. But Cillian Murphy, say no more, absolute superstar now. Rose Byrne is massive. Captain America himself, Chris Evans, is in this. Michelle Yeoh, who obviously is in Marvel and just won an Academy Award for everything. Or what did she win for? God, you'll have
Everything
to help me
everywhere all
out.
at once.
Was she in? I might be confusing her in somewhere else, but it doesn't matter.
No, that's she was in that. I don't know if
She
she won
was
an
in that.
award
I
for
can't
it.
remember. She won an award somewhere. Anyway, she's huge. Benedict Wong, of course, of the Marvel world, is in this. Mark Strong, who is the British villain of everything, is in this. It's a very if you're into heady sci-fi, it's a great trip. Of course, Cliff Curtis. Of Star Wars and everything else fame is in this as well, and he's like my favorite character in the movie by far. So the premise of this one is very similar to Project Hail Mary. You might have a bit of whiplash, but the premise is that our sun is dying. Sounds familiar. But rather than some tiny creatures eating its base elements, it's burning out. And the idea is that they're going to take everything left on Earth that they can scrounge up into one mega payload that they're going to fire into the sun and hopefully reignite the fires. But it lives in at least conceptual reality sci-fi, just like Hail Mary, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
In a not too distant future that still operates within the bounds of physics and reality, and it really gets into the stuff of like just how powerful our sun is, and it's incredible. A lot of people didn't care for the ending, and I tend to agree that it's the weaker part of the movie, but everything that gets you there is brilliant. And so that's what you're going to be watching this week. Sunshine 2007. Highly recommend anybody out there to watch it. And I guess we'll find out next week if Wyatt liked it or not.
Yeah, I'm excited to kind of stay in the space universe. We sat in baseball for a little while, and now it's space
Earth
this
sucks
time.
right now. Let's look to the stars for a while.
You know what we're gonna have to do? I think maybe at some point where we can transition our Backlog Buster Brothers stuff into monthly themes.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Yeah. Baseball month. Now we got space month. Oh, here you go. A team of international astronauts is sent on a dangerous mission to reignite the dying sun with a nuclear fission bomb in the year 2057.
Yeah, I'm sold.
There you go.
All right, so I owe you a game. And this isn't in the space theme because I just came up with that idea of doing themes 5 minutes ago.
It's in the space of gaming.
Yeah, there you go. It's in the gaming space.
Yeah.
So I think we've talked about this game before a little bit. I believe you bought this during the Steam sale. And this is a game that I think we really need to play together. And this will get me to play it. And it'll give us a chance to play some games again.
Is it RV There Yet?
It is RV There Yet.
Yeah.
So this game is incredibly dumb in that it is a complimentary adjective. You play as a bunch of goofy, I'll almost say Cartman-esque looking like characters. You are driving an RV with your friends through the wilderness, and the idea is you're trying to get through obstacles. You're trying to just drive carefully so you don't drive off a cliff, and you work together. You're trying to get through your journey from point A to point B. You spend the time ripping butts and drinking beers.
I think it's basically lots of physics-based co-op puzzle stuff to try and get the car from point A to point B. Yeah, I think Cartman-esque crossed with Walter Sobchak from Big Lebowski. Yeah.
So the idea is they've coined this game as dadcore aesthetic, which I think is kind of spot on.
Mm-hmm.
This will be something we could probably play for a couple hours and be like, that was a lot of fun, and not come back to it. It's not essentially a game that we're going to be fully invested into a story mode or anything.
No, I purchased it with the expectation of maybe an evening or two's entertainment.
Yeah, I think full price it's $8. I think you probably got it on sale for maybe $2 or $3.
Yep.
It's not meant to be Expedition 33. But I've been wanting to play this for a long time. I haven't had anyone to play it with, so I feel like this is a great excuse, one, to get myself to be playing some more games with friends, and two, so we can maybe laugh at each other.
I like doing
I'm
that.
sure this isn't going to
Quite
go
fun.
easily.
No, I think it's one of those get really pissed off at everybody you're playing with and laugh and yell at each other, like, overcooked
in an
style.
RV.
Yeah, which I'm all for.
I don't have really anything else to say about it. I know I'm looking at the Steam page right now. It's got very positive reviews. I think it won one of those like cozy gaming awards from Steam last year just because of I'm watching the trailer right now and it's just so dumb. You're being chased by snakes the entire time. You're just smoking cigarettes. You can winch yourself up a tree if you fall off a cliff. Like, it's just so dumb. And I'm really excited to play it.
Yeah, it has a very silly aesthetic to it, and
yeah,
I'm looking forward to this too. So cool. Let's find a weeknight.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think unless you've got anything else, that's going to be our time for this week.
Oh man, I got a Costco pizza on the way to me, so I'm psyched.
Nice.
Bring it on.
I very quickly, Brandon, you're our best buddy. He won our handheld giveaway a few weeks ago. I apologize. I've been a terrible.
Will you go to the damn post office? You used to mail cookies out 3 times a month. God's sake, they know you over there. You got a P.O. box. Mail out the man his prize.
Buddy, I moved. My post office is no longer as close as it used to be. My post office was 30 seconds away.
Yeah, he's got me there, folks. Damn.
That still is no excuse for me to not get it out. It will get out this week, Brandon. I appreciate your patience. I know I've reached out to you about it and told you that I'm flaky. But we'll get that out, and maybe at the beginning of next month we'll do another giveaway. I am looking above my head at a shelf over my podcasting space at a couple big boxes of gaming handhelds that are labeled handhelds for giveaways. So maybe we could try to get another one out.
That was the idea, but in order to get another one out, you have to send one to the guy that already won one.
Exactly. So maybe that'll happen. But so thanks for joining us again this week, everybody. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe if you haven't. Please leave us a review. Anything you guys do with that helps us be more visible. Let your friends know. Let your enemies know. Just write it on bathroom stalls when you're somewhere. Listen to We Don't Have It Yet. And if you
let your mom know. I think moms love us. We're both lovely young gentlemen.
We're all right.
Tell your grandma. I'd love to have her.
Tell your dog. We want more dogs listening to our podcast.
100%.
All right, Nick, thank you for joining me again this week. This is fun as always. I look forward to doing some more weekend recording where we can kind of let loose a little bit more and maybe a little bit less of time constraints. Not that we really have too much trouble.
I don't think length was ever a concern.
Yeah. But, trying to have my mind in 2 places at once, I don't have to do that now. So thanks again, everyone. Have a great week, and we will talk to you soon.
See you next week, everybody.